Hey guys, so the start of my week was dynamic effort slash speed explosive work for deadlifts. This was 10 sets of 2 reps, and generally for this sort of work you want to be working at 35 to 75% of your 1 rep max. It's really wide ranging because velocity and kind of power is speed times weight. And so if you're using a heavy weight, obviously power is going to be pretty high, but then the speed might be a bit slower. So that's why there's such a wide range there. Really going for faster muscle contractions, kind of build that special work capacity, build my rate of force development. Got shorter rest periods so my body gets used to kind of having to recover faster. Practicing my technique so I become as neurally efficient as possible. Every rep should almost be perfect. And you think about, to get perfect form at speed is really difficult, so I probably couldn't do much more than kind of 2 reps at this sort of load. I'm doing these beltless, and it's kind of debated whether you should do power work beltless or not, but if I can move this sort of weight quickly without a belt, I kind of imagine that that will help build my capacity to use a belt later on and make it even easier using a belt. So I kind of see it as okay, especially because it's sub-maximal work. I don't see it as an issue. So when you're lifting maximal weights, you want to really attempt to lift it as fast as possible. In reality, this doesn't always come to fruition because if it's a heavy load, you're not actually going to lift it fast. But in this case, I can, and that's really good because that builds a different capacity to what using maximal weights would do. There's a big difference between the intent to lift quickly and actually doing it. It all depends on the load, so heavier loads, slower. So it's really that intent that matters. So when you're lifting maximal weights, really go for it. That is the best thing we want to do. We really need our muscles to contract as fast as possible. We need our brain to do that, to utilize the largest number of muscle fibers at once, which is all about kind of doing it with that intent. So I like these power sessions as a deload because they're not that taxing, but they do let you kind of work on all of those things. So special work capacity, speed, explosiveness, rate of force development, allow you to kind of use short rest periods and practice that technique. That's a really key thing for me, becoming neurally efficient so that every rep I'm going for here is pretty much perfect. You don't want any rep to look kind of sloppy. It's sub-maximal load, so it shouldn't be difficult. For me, I find kind of not timing my rest periods exactly to like 1 minute or something, and it's kind of just kind of have a bit of a break, give my kind of brain a break, get in the zone, walking back to the bar, and then attack that weight, really with that intent to move it as fast as possible. Because like I said, it is that intent that really matters. It's not necessarily whether you do move it as fast as possible, because when you're kind of attacking heavy weights, you're not going to be able to. But for this case, it is important that I'm lifting every rep as fast as I can. So here's my final set, and that was my power work for this week. So that's enough pure training talk, and I just want to go into a bit of kind of psychology here and talk about how to be your best as a lifter. I think you need to remain humble. You need to be confident, not arrogant, with your lifts, and kind of to always assume you're unskilled and not a master, and kind of always looking to improve and thinking you're almost less good than you necessarily are is always going to put you in better stead than kind of overestimating your abilities and potentially putting yourself in harm. So I'll just go over that a little bit more and explain what I mean by that. So to be successful in kind of any areas of life, and especially your lifting career, you need to be savvy and knowledgeable and know kind of which strategies to follow and pursue and put your effort into, and not fall into a trap of following strategies that aren't going to kind of push you in the right direction. So by strategies, normally that's kind of nutrition and training, and they're going to be your strategic kind of areas to shoot for. That knowledge and kind of the strategic areas to go for often comes from wisdom, and wisdom is hard to come by because not everyone gets it, and it's something you get with experience. So if you haven't got your own experience and therefore don't have wisdom, you need to kind of pursue the help of others or look to others and use their wisdom to help with your kind of knowledge and the right areas for you to kind of strategize and pursue. Want to look towards those kind of guys or girls who are successful. Look at what they're doing, see why they're successful. Don't look at those others who are dysfunctional or not performing at their best. Don't use their wisdom. Use someone who has the wisdom and is getting results, the kind of results you want. If you look at those other people and use their strategies, you're going to likely get their results. And if you assume you know, you have the wisdom and you have the knowledge, and you assume you are completely skilled and a master, then you're likely to fall into a trap as well. So remain humble. And that goes for so many aspects of training, not just your program and how your nutrition is performing. You need to kind of think about, if you're not certain that you're fully skilled and a master, which you should be thinking, you kind of need to look to others to judge you. Because if you aren't skilled and a master, then you aren't the best person to judge your own results. So it's always good to look to some other people to judge yourself, because if you want to be the best and you know your form isn't the best, then you need to kind of look towards the best and get them to judge you or judge your basis off their own form. Those sort of aspects of training and nutrition. It's kind of one of those things where you don't want to have a self-inflated opinion of yourself. Think about it this way. Most of us would like to think we're above average in most things, and most of us do think that. But that kind of goes completely against that statistic itself. You are statistically most likely to be average, distinctly average at everything. So if we take that into a lifting contest, if you kind of think, yeah, I'm average, I'm an average lifter, that might put you kind of bring your confidence down, but make you respect that you need to do what the average people do to get results. Kind of, you need to go beyond average to get results. If you want average results, keep doing what everyone else is doing. If you want to push beyond that, push beyond what is average. And by that, I mean the average lifter will go in and they will lift kind of without a program, without progressive overload, without the correct nutrition. And if you want to become average and have average results, then do what they do, because that is what you will achieve. Whereas if you want to go beyond average, then push beyond average and actually keep pursuing beyond average. Do over average, and always assume you are the average, because then you will just keep pushing towards being beyond that. I think that's a great thing. I think that's part of being humble, is knowing that you aren't the best at what you're doing, and always reach to build and be better than you currently are. Not to focus on other people, to focus upon yourself, but know that you're not better than average. I don't think that's a great thing, to actually pursue being better than average. Let me leave you with this. If you consider your knowledge to be incomplete and imperfect, you'll completely pursue to perfect it and push forward. But if you view yourself as having all the knowledge and all the mastery there is, then you'll also be incompetent to assess your own knowledge, so you won't pursue to develop it further. So always be learning, always be pursuing to be beyond average, always be pushing to that next level. Never remain the same, never kind of be comfortable being average. I think that's a great thing, not being comfortable being average. Make yourself uncomfortable, push towards and beyond average, and never limit yourself to thinking you are the master, you are the know-all, you are the best. Push towards that, but never think you are it, and you'll succeed and do really well. Cheers, guys, and revive stronger.